Experimenting with future technologies, constructing new devices, developing creative ideas for urban life in the future. The BMW Guggenheim Lab, co-initiated in October 2010 between the BMW Group and the Solomon R. Guggenheim Foundation, has arrived in Berlin, the second stop on its worldwide tour to 9 cities, inviting everybody to participate in improving comfort in the city.
We are all aware that the responsibility of a global player like BMW goes far beyond just clean cars. As a corporate citizen, we have to and we want to make a contribution also to urban life. Change begins in your mind. So we want to bring, with this project, minds together, people together, innovative people, people who can make this change happen.
The lab architecture brings out the open character of the project. A light carbon fiber structure, flexible as a stage construction, inviting and inspiring, without walls that set limits. A mobile think tank that comes to the people, working as a public forum, community center, and gathering space.
We started thinking, how can we do other programs that can happen outside of the museum? If we're talking about cities, how can we do projects that are happening in the street of cities? So this is mainly the philosophy that is behind the project and how we started the collaboration with BMW.
This particular experiment is about the question of what can the museum do that's oriented to a bigger, different, and active audience. For Berliners, I hope that it allows a bigger opportunity for more and different kinds of people to come together and discuss what the city could and should be.
A subject that Berliners are obviously interested in. In a city with a long tradition of participation and creative potential, there are lots of projects for urban development joining the BMW Guggenheim Lab this summer. Among the first Berliners to watch and participate in this pioneering urban experiment were U.S. Ambassador Philip Murphy and Berlin Mayor Klaus Wowereit.
What we're going to be doing here at the lab in Berlin is slightly different to what we did in the lab in New York. The key aspect of the lab in Berlin is the focus on making things and doing things, and instead of learning by talking, is learning by doing. Your city is yours, and you can change your own city.
Making things move with sometimes extraordinary and visionary ideas. When toothbrushes become toy vehicles, and cyclists get more and safer space in the dangerous traffic of megacities.
My vision for mobility and transport in the future in megacities is cycling superhighways. They are 7-meter wide bikeways which are completely separated from parked and moving cars. They're safe enough for anyone to use, whether they're 8 years old or 88 years old.
4 lab team members from interdisciplinary backgrounds are programming the Berlin Lab, confronting questions of transportation and architecture, science and health, sustainability and new technologies, psychology and communication. My questions are all about the focus on psychology and urban life involving the human being. Emotion and communication and all these processes I examine in my program. For example, why do I feel alone in a city with 3.5 million people? Or why don't we smile at each other more? 6 weeks of experimenting and discussing, thinking and making in Berlin. Then the lab will leave for its next stop in Mumbai. But several of the projects in Berlin will continue.
I think a successful lab will be a lab that generates new ideas, but also a lab that has ideas that stay after we leave Berlin.
So join and enjoy the BMW Guggenheim Lab with its 100 programs and workshops in Berlin until July 29th.